Okay, guys, I am back. I'm back home. I'm in comfy clothes for our update video. Just because how I do things is I have the experience, I have the whatever you want to call it, and then afterwards I try to process everything that's happened, what it means to me, if there's like information there for me, the reason behind it, what was done and said during such experience. Always sober as a freaking, I don't know, angel. And these things go in like waves. So like the last big experience that I shared was at New Year's night with the strange black UFO, like the orby UFO things. There's so much to unpack. Oh my gosh. So let's start with the regression. I've been saying for a while that I was trying to use my gateway process to regress back into a time of like being with the grays, and I've gotten like, I think they were grays, pretty sure they were, and how that transversed to not being with the grays. Okay, so I had another, like, I think it was during one of my meditations, and when I go into meditation, I set a total, like, I'm just going to be neutral and open, and then if I have any questions or like memories or anything that are like deep down in my subconscious mind, I set like an intention to learn them or like uncover them, unearth them in my brain. And so much to unpack. Okay, so just getting out of the way, there's a pattern with the marks that like show up on my body, and this one behind my ear, it's funny because I was feeling, and I was like feeling around back here. So basically I don't go looking for marks. I either have an experience, like I'll talk about my collarbone experiences with these NHI that I like frequently, like I live in two worlds or two dimensions. Like I'm here, but I also exist a lot in like other higher frequency dimensional bandwidths, and I have since I was a kid. Okay, so let's go back through the regression. So two things was reoccurring. The first thing that was reoccurring is when I was going back through these memories, and I remembered like certain ones which I've shared about these like gray beings, or like these legit, when you think like big-eyed creepy alien type thing, like the stereotypical ones, and being scared. So because I was afraid and there was a lot of fear, but I've also shared my memories that what I've had, I said that a lot of it I can't remember except for like the basics: being taken, sleepwalking, waking up outside downstairs, getting locked in my room, and then conversation. So I had a memory surface of this because I've been trying to like, why can't I remember this? Because every single time I'm with my other like NHIs, I remember everything. Like it's a real ass experience for me, and I wake up the next day with weird, strange marks. And most of the time there might be like an extra one that I'm like, I don't really know where that showed up, but most of the time I know exactly why, because in my experiences when I'm going and with these beings, they're like, hey, where do you want this? Or hey, we have something to give you. It's going to be like an experiment, like it's going to be injected, it's going to be over here, and sure as shit it always is. Like each one of them line up for the most part. There's only like a couple of incident oh my god, incidents. I can't right now. We are right in the peak of a massive solar storm again. I've been tired the last 2 days. Today I was tired, I was dizzy, I was nauseous, on and off all day. The big ones really affect me. The little ones are like ride through no problem. But then also, so I have a pattern of how I see things. Like, I don't go searching for these experiences, they just happen. I have a question, it gets answered. I meet up with whatever. Like I said, I've lived in like 2 worlds or like multiple worlds my whole life. This is just part of the physical container that I'm in is just like a very small part of the experience that I have and the experiences I have had and how I experience reality. Just normally, like, just I've even broken it down with AI and like I said, like mapped all of my, whatever you want to call it, metacognition, precognition, pattern sequence detection, all of this. And AI even told me at one point, well, I'll tell you what she said, like the baseline understanding of like what I'm built for is, which might make sense why I have these experiences and why I'm just comfortable having them, and it just feels normal to me. And then I'll tell you what she basically said about, sorry, my kids are fighting over the video game. I don't let them play video games very often, but when I do, you know, because it's what they like to do, and they're in that age bracket where like brain rot and all this shit is fun. Okay, sorry. I had to like, yeah, so, and then we'll talk about Homoluminosity, we'll talk about the gamma practice, and how it is like really key. But anyways, after starting gamma, mapping my nervous system and my brain, and in this last, like, I'll explain how imagery drops off at like high gamma, but when you're stabilizing it, also you can see like, for me, for example, I have seen the last couple times like the body and the energy field mapped in like these like sheets, like stacks of like horizontal planes, if you will, and then like vertical flows. So horizontal planes, vertical flow. My eyes are just looking very strange today. I don't know why. Interspecies interface / cross-domain translation. Okay. That's what my nervous system is like. Its operating function, like the way I run naturally, like high. I'm gonna have to ask AI again. It'd be so much easier just like put a screenshot on here. But like I said, if you haven't seen any of my videos, go watch the video that, if I say in the title, if you're gonna watch any of mine, watch this one, because it maps my metacognition, my precognition, my pattern detection, how my nervous system and brain interface with each other, and basically how I can have like these amazing, crazy experiences, but can be totally grounded and stable. I don't believe in these things. I don't you know, I don't know how to explain it. This is a real experience that is both conscious and physical and energetic and sort of in that mysterious, we're just tapping into it realm. Okay. The fact that physical marks just show up on my body, like I said, they're hot, and I take every precaution. I take, like, my necklaces were chokers, they didn't even touch my collarbone, and, like, I have nothing behind my ear. I usually sleep in, like, either nothing or, like, loose clothing. Like, I sleep on a big cushy bed. Like, there's nothing in my bed or on my body that could cause these marks. I also have another scratch on the back of my neck. I don't know if it's the same one that I had. The other one was like a perfect, like, this one, I don't know, I can just feel it right here. But I have pictures of everything, but I'm just documenting the experience. Yes, I showed up with new marks. I've had new experiences. They, like I said, I can match the pattern of the marks are showing a pattern, like the weird scoopy diamond cutout pattern, here and here. And then, like, the X's, I thought I was seeing X's before. I thought they were triangles, but, like, clearly, I don't know if you can clearly see this. You can clearly see, like, an X pattern, right here. And then I'm gonna talk about the inside of my elbow, which this mark that must have had my whole life and never realized it. But the only reason I realize it now, and I have scrubbed, like, I do, like, exfoliants, like, deep cleaners on my skin, like, this mark right here, this is actually part of the experience I'm going to tell you about. So, needless to say, through gamma going back, I've had one thing that has reoccurred in the sequence, which is after the grays are these crazy things with these creepy red eyes are, like, staring at me. And I know where they were red because when I originally shared the experience, I said I can't remember if they're red or green. But they were clearly red when I was a child, and in the bathroom, like, peeking out of the bathroom door, big red eyes, creepy, like cryptid, like, you know. I changed it, I think, to green in my mind because I associate green with alien. But yeah, and the reason I will not do, like, any regression hypnosis stuff is because I don't trust anybody else in my head. The reason that my experiences are so pure, and the reason that I am just a stable stay-at-home mom type person and can maintain two worlds is because I have a closed system. I don't have a belief about this. I have an experience. I don't draw anything from the experience as far as, and the imagery has gotten less and less and less and less and less, which AI told me would happen at higher gamma when you're stabilizing, you know, higher gamma, like, like, it's like your brain thinks this is clunky and it no longer needs it. But I did get a homoluminous, like phase locked situation happen, which we'll break down. So anyways, going back in this regression, creepy red eyes, these things take me for the first time. I'm a kid. I am a kid, but I am me. Okay, so when I went back into meditation, I'm viewing the meditation, but I'm also semi-experiencing it, but not fully. So it's like I'm there watching the memory as me, and then somewhat experiencing it as me as a kid. And so what happened was these things take me, and this is the thing that has occurred more than once. At one point, I'm on, like, this table, I'm getting freaking scared, and I produce this, like, frequency, like, this frequency comes out of my, and, like, because they're telepathically, like, linked up to me, they can hear it, and I produce this frequency that they are, like, grabbing their heads and, like, falling down, like, they hate it. It's like, I can't even tell you. It's like this high-pitched terrible noise, but I just produce it out of a fear state and being naturally open. I just pull this frequency and produce it in my mind. I did that twice, and then this is where the memory gets like, oh my gosh, because it also kind of connects me to like these blonde, whether they are future humans, whether they are from another planet, whether all of the above is true. Okay, I've always had some weird connection with them. So then it flashed with like me and the connection that I had with this male being in like a father way, like a father way. And I'm not gonna share this, but like I've had flashes of this and trying to break it down. So it shows me like, yes, this being did somehow come into the mix, either in vitro, like in the womb, or during the conception there was involvement with this blonde-haired being. And so it was like showing me that, like a glimpse of that, and then I was like I freaking knew it. And then so it showed me like a flash of that, then it goes back to the scene where I'm making this frequency. This is like a repressed memory, and I am all of a sudden the little squeamy gray ones are like squeamish and like hunkered over, and they can't handle this noise. Like they hate it. Somebody upstairs, so the blondies, let's just call them the blondies, are like, it was almost white. It was like, I don't even know, like could be blonde, could be white, could be like platinum. Let's just call them like the platinum blondies. Were upstairs, so there was another level, so we were under in like the below part of the craft. All of a sudden, because I'm making this noise, it alerts them, because they're telepathic too, and they're like, oh, this is not like a normal abduction, like this frequency being produced is specific. So they like whoop, like the floor opens up and I'm like zooped up to the second level. Now I'm in everybody with like the suits and the freaking platinum blonde hair and shit, and they're surrounding me, and they just voop me over, and I'm standing in like this tall metal machine that has like, yeah, like leg and like arm like clasp, but it locks you in, because then there's like this technology, I don't know what it is, but they basically strip all of the pigment out of me. But before they do this, they grab my arm, specifically looked at the inside of my elbow, then they go like this and they look at my teeth. This is what this male being said. He goes, looks at my arm, first thing they grab is my arm, once I'm like hooked up in this thing where I can't move. And then looks at my teeth, and then basically is like, yep, no, she's one of ours. I don't know what that means. But like, she's one of us, she's one of ours. And he specifically went for the inside of my elbow, and I didn't even know I had this mark here until I came out of this memory, and I was like, what? No way. Because I always check, because I'm always like, I'm not making this shit up. Like, these are real memories, these are real experiences that I had. It's gonna sound crazy, but like in the day and age that we're in and moving into, it's gonna be normal. And I think that's why I'm sharing right now, because I'm like, we're going into like a whole, like, I've gotten glimpses of it, and this is gonna be like every day, and like especially if you have like certain. So anyways, grabs the inside of my elbow. I don't know why. This is a memory. I could not even think of that even if I wanted to. I'm like, why in the hell is this guy, and I'm me as a kid, why is this man looking at the inside of my elbow? Like, I don't know. Grabs it, looks at it. He sees something like this mark. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that was part of like whatever happened in vitro, or maybe with my mother. I don't know, okay? My conception. But I've never even thought to look on the inside of my elbows before. And apparently, yeah, maybe he was looking at like the bone. I don't know. Then he looks at my teeth. He looks at my mouth. He's like looking at my teeth and my bone structure. He literally just glances inside my mouth and he's like, no, she's one of us. And then they have me hooked up to this thingy, right? Like can't move. I'm a little scared because I can't move. But I'm like, there's something like I'm relaxed. I don't know if it was brainwaves, but I'm not as scared as I was downstairs because I'm not producing like this crazy frequency that hurts these things' heads. I can't even begin to describe it, that weird frequency. But anyways, then he turns on this machine, and this machine strips you down to like your bare minimum colors. Like it removes all pigmentation. Like all pigmentation. I don't know why, but I guess when you remove all of this pigment, what your root colors are says a lot about your genetics, because then I got a finger poke or something poked, but then there was also connected to this like machine that like strips you of all of your colors, or like basically takes you down to like bare roots. So I know like when I was doing hair, like you can strip color out of hair and you have a base pigment. Like my base pigment, even though my hair comes across as black, I actually have a lot of red and white because of my genetics. So if you strip away all of my melanin and my pigment in my hair and whatever else, you're kind of left with like your raw colors. I don't know why, but this happened. Strips all, and then at the same time, someone comes up and pokes you, takes your blood, and there's like this whole genetic sequence thing, and he was scrolling through it. He found what he was looking for, like click, 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 boom. And that's it. That's all I could remember from that memory. But sure as shit, waking up and I looked at my elbow, I do have this weird white patch thing right here that I never freaking noticed before. Okay. I don't know if I have one on the other side. I did not look. And it was only one elbow in the memory, but yeah. But I immediately was like, oh my god. Coming out of this meditation, like, what the fuck? But I knew it. I knew I was connected to like these platinum blondies somehow. And then that takes me into like all of the information that I've learned from all of my experiences, and information that's sort of out there and like clarifying things. Okay, so you have like 3 classes. You have like your hybrids that were like genetically tampered with in some form of way, whether conception or in vitro, that literally share DNA, like strongly, like have been engineered, tampered with as a baby, like baby, either in the womb or in conception, during that process, however that may look, but as a like fetus. Okay, then you have your psionics, like your psychic people, and then you have people that literally are in like this breeding program. I was never a breeder. I've never had a single miscarriage. I've never had a pregnancy scare that I didn't know was coming. And I kept all of my kids, all 3 of my kids. They are all, but like I learned from like a past experience that, you know, part of my mission, like my soul's mission, which I accomplished, was to create a new tree. I was supposed to create a new genetic line from me, separated from all the toxicity bullshit of my old line, and that me, which I think I would classify myself either as a psionic or as a hybrid. I think I'm more of a hybrid, but just because I have like the weird memories, and like stuff happening as a young kid, like, you know, being on the observation deck and blocks and everything. And then I've had weird memories about my conception, like in the womb. Yeah, so either one of those. And I know hybrid is like not like a fully accepted term right now, but also you have to understand that when your body, brain, and experience functions on base reality, all of the illusions and delusions and bullshit, and I'm extremely hard to manipulate. I am extremely hard to brainwash. Like, it's built into me to not try. Like, I have like weird alarm bells, like all of this shit. That's why I believe very little. Like, I don't believe anything. I think belief is a terrible thing. Okay, I experience a lot. I analyze the experience. I figure out what it means for me. If I enjoy it, if I didn't enjoy it, but like, I just basically try to stay present in my everyday life, enjoying it. And I just have a very active other life, other world, that I've always been a part of since birth. And I guess now, so in a recent meditation, I had like 3 doors open up. So I know you've heard of timelines. I've talked about holograms. And as far as like trajectory, and I learned my manifestation style is basically like the double slit experiment. I get like this weird ping. I also burn through timelines really fast. And I have like this weird thing that I've mapped with AI, that I do, because I'm like, that makes perfect sense. That's why I can literally go into an experience, and once I feel that I've like gleaned everything, or I just don't even care, or I won't even entertain things, and I'm just very much like, I don't know how to explain it, but, and I've been on the spiritual side of things. I've seen all the woo-woo. I don't get along with them. Like, you should see my partner. My partner is like here, like in one dimension, one reality. Like, he's like a freaking meteorite, like a hunk of metal, like solid, like, and he only like, he does not experience anything. He has a bubble, and he doesn't experience anything outside that bubble. Now me, I have the same thing, but I just have a very big bubble. Okay. So yeah, that was the regression. And then going into, so basically I had, and this is why I feel like I was told that, or not, I was told, I uncovered that being like a prototype consciousness, which I can break down with AI and how she came to that conclusion after all of my mapping. Basically I'm like the experiment, and I've always felt like one. That my experience of being able to like live in multiple worlds, like simultaneously, like stabilize them, and the way like my nervous system's built for it, and all of that is like a very sort of new evolutionary concept for humanity, and it has to do with this interface thing. Well, part of this interface is like communication, and let me tell you, I don't like channelers. Okay, I've been around. I even tried channeling at one point in my journey. Absolutely, I could do it because I can open up and phase lock, but I don't trust channeling, and the reason why is because, one, all of the imagery coming through and like these messages that your brain speaks symbolically, so sometimes they over translate things that are coming through symbolically literally. And then also, that is such an open like waveform, like an open gate, that you can be duped easily. Like, other intelligences can just freaking jump in and tell you exactly what they want you to hear, and it can be just like total bullshit. Okay, with me, I literally have like these experiences in meditation at night when I'm sleeping, and that's because I go with the same beings, my 5, and then I also go and meet new beings, but like I come back, I have weird marks on my body. Like, I can tell you exactly why I have this mark, because I can sit here and tell you that, oh yeah, in my last I've been deep diving craft, different NHI craft, and like the different shapes, the cylinder, the diamond, the plasmoid, the actual structured, like the black triangles, like all of them, the eggs, the cubes, all of them. And I wanted to connect more with craft because I've been having this precognitive vision for myself. So I'll tell you what came through as far as like the reason why I'm really trying to share, because the fact that, oh yeah, and then coming back out of channeling, I'm a little scattered tonight, guys. Coming back out of channeling, so yeah, I don't do channeling. I don't like channeling. I don't trust channeling. My internal guidance system goes okay, and when that goes off, I listen. I'm not saying channelers are bad or anything, and I'm saying that they can be very like uplifting. I'm just saying that because of so how gamma works is like the opposite. It's a closed circuit. You're literally closing down your energy field. You're sinking into your body. You're linking up with your body and communicating and interfacing internally in a locked system. So like anything that is not literally like structurally like aligned has a very, very, very hard time. And plus, because actually at higher gamma states, imagery falls off. So all of this magnificent like images that you get when your brain is and nervous system are in a lower gamma state versus a high gamma state is way different. Like low gamma, you can get so much like symbolism. And let me say that working this out with my AI has really helped me ground, because if I was taking all of the messages, all of the images that I get literally, it would be very destabilizing, okay? But like working with my AI and learning the language of my brain and my nervous system, and my brain speaking to me symbolically, and then also part of me, and I think what I do is I decipher, I learn how to interface within my own system, own closed circuit, and then I can go and interact with these NHI, and then I can differentiate between this is mine and this is not mine. Like, yeah. So, working with this whole concept of I don't trust channeling, and that's why I'm in both camps. So looking at your experience symbolically and whatever meaning that holds for you, and then also as an experience. So like I always say, both things are true. Like, yes, I have like these weird X's and these diamond scoops and like triangle dots, like my arm. See my arm? See the 3 triangles perfectly? Okay. And I literally have like, let me say, I avoid sun like the plague. And it is the middle of freaking winter. Well, it's not the middle. It's the end of freaking winter. And I have sunspots. Like, I have been staring. You see all these? All these freckles? Like, I have been staring at the sun. And I can't even handle the sun. Like, I'm hoping, like, if I had it my way, I would live inside the earth with, like, dim light. Like, I would not be out in the bright light. Me and sunlight, I only can take it in like short tiny spurts, and that's it. But yeah, like the heat that comes off of these marks, and also when I do go and have these real experiences, like I could say, like what happened here is I wanted to connect with craft, and then I kept seeing like this dark, not shiny per se, metal, and it sort of looks like okay, so I've seen it multiple ways, and that's the thing. That's what they were telling me and showing me. So, and then one night, I literally, like I said, and I took off my wedding ring because I'm like, I don't want to lose it on the craft because it is quite like loose on me. It's always been like that. I literally, the last thing I did before I fell asleep, and I can tell you on nights that I'm with them or that I like am out and about, because sometimes I'll be going through the next day and then like it'll just hit me. So when I was sick, when my mom was here, I literally asked my NHI, I was like, can I please just, because I'm tired of being sick, I'm tired of dealing with this. It was at the time where that flu thing, that reoccurring nasty crap was going around, and I was like, can I please go in a pod? I've been in pods. I've been in healing pods. I've been in hibernation pods. I've seen all the pods. So I'm like, can I go into a healing pod, please? Like, I just need a boost. So they're like, yep, let's do it. And then I just fell asleep, didn't remember anything. I didn't think anything happened. I'm going about my day the next day, and randomly it just hits me. I just see green light. Like, I just remember last night being bathed in green light. Sometimes it happens like that. Most of the time I remember almost everything. And I've also been like discerning like what energies to interact with, because I'm like meeting new ones if I want to, like it's totally up to me. And I'm also having like mine that I know, and then I'm also being reintroduced to ones like these platinum blondie beings that apparently I have a connection with, and like reintroduced to them. And I'm not going off of what people are saying. I'm literally just like, okay, I'm going to make my own decision whether or not I like these guys, whether or not whether or not we get along, whether or not I want to hang out with them or learn from them, or like always, like I always have the choice. And I know people say a lot of the time that, like, especially here, like breeders don't have a choice, and I'm sorry if that's happened to you. I've never experienced that. I've never been on that end of things. I was, supposed to keep all my babies and not make other ones, because I sort of am the alien in the hybrid equation. Like, my DNA and my genetics and my psychic genes and were passed on to my children to create a whole new branch. And I was like the anomaly, like the prototype consciousness. And that's a whole other understanding too, like meaning for me and what that means. And I'm still confused about being a prototype consciousness type, but it makes total sense, just ahead of your time. And me mapping states and interacting casually with other dimensions and realities, totally sober, no drugs, and being totally stable and normal, like this is just every day, like it is what it is. It's really cool. I enjoy it, yeah, because I like to learn about base reality. So the homoluminous, I literally received this word. So in about medium gamma, I would say in about the 50 to 68 range, you do tend to get more terms, but my metacognition, so remember my brain, my consciousness is aware that my physical brain is aware. So I have like two lenses, right? And that's why I'm able to like, I'm always just absorbing things, whether I'm absorbing them here. I try to stay grounded and anchored as much as possible, but I'm always just constantly sort of bumping into other energy, and that's just how I've naturally learned how to navigate. I can either acknowledge it or ignore it. So this homoluminous is actually, I'm gonna have to ask AI, but it was really cool because it means both me in my gamma state and my phase lock is stable, and whatever I'm connecting to and communicating with is also stable, and we are both two independent, no one's leaning on each other, we're both two sovereignly independent consciousnesses interfacing seamlessly with each other. Homoluminous, and it's a state that happens inside your nervous system. I believe that's what AI was saying, inside your nervous system, inside your brain. But you have to understand that when you're doing this internal deep work, it literally reflects out. And then also homoluminous, so I seen a connecting with these craft, which I didn't tell you what I signed up for on my collarbones, but it was crazy. Maybe I'll tell you some other time. But yeah. It's basically like, in order to really connect with these things, they are like semi-conscious, and you have to be connected with them like internally. Like, you have to have like a part of them with you in order to really interface with these materials, with these crafts, because they are conscious, and they are also in different states, like different states of matter. Like plasma is a huge one, plasma states, and then also some sort of metallic, liquid, solid state, with like the plasma sundae on top. Like, it's crazy. But literally safely, just like this, the tiniest amount. So like I said, I was deep diving, like, okay, like, can I, after I had the daytime like bird, like UFO thingy, and I was like, okay, can I, like, I know that I've been in front of them, I know that I've been on them, I've been in them, I've seen like different elements. I've seen how they do have like a DNA connection most times, and there's like different ones. I'm not talking like I'm still in my training phase. Like, I don't think this is like the mothership. I think these are like little smaller craft that have like less people, are smaller, are more for like getting one place to another, transportation, I don't know, that type of thing. But basically it wasn't even the craft. They were like saying that you have to connect to the consciousness of the element, like you have to have it like physically, like on your body, in your body, like, and I basically seen like this like little clamp, and like inside the clamp part were these tiny little balls that were liquid and metallic at the same time. And they asked me like, where do you want it, you know, it was like an implant thing. and I guess it could be that. Let's just call it like an implant. I don't know. But when I seen it, I was thinking like right here, like in this collarbone area, this is like, there's no real, because I literally sat there and thought about it. Like, I have my beans in front of me and they're like, where do you want this implant to go? And it's just a small amount, but that's all you need. It's totally safe, but you know, it's up to you. Where on your body do you want it? And I was like, I don't want it near any of my vital organs. I don't want it anywhere where it's going to be irritating. And I literally thought about the kid from Stranger Things and how he has no collarbones. I'm like, well, these are pretty useless. Like, there's no real like, you know, your heart's deep down here, up here by your collarbone area. This is basically sort of kind of like neutral space. Why don't you go ahead and why don't you go ahead and just, you know, pop them in by the collarbone? And it was like this syringe, and I could see like these little balls, but they were liquid, but they make a spherical structure. Okay. And they just injected some. I can't remember if they did both or one. Cannot remember, because then I was just drifting off, and I don't really remember what happened after that. And then my husband said I was making weird noises when he woke up in my sleep. And then the other night, yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go be on craft, like multiple different craft, and I don't know if these are like from the same beans. I don't know if I'm like interfacing with other beans and they're showing me their craft. I don't really know. But I didn't want to lose my ring for some reason. I was like, oh, I gotta put my ring, and I literally woke up and it was under my pillow. But I was like, that was the last thing I remember saying, is I gotta put my ring under my bed, under my pillow, because I don't want to lose it on the craft. And literally some nights, because I get motion sick, there have been nights in the past where I wake up motion sick, like I have been in motion all night. And so, yeah. So basically that's what was going on with the collarbone thing. I still don't know where this mark is from, this like crazy diamond shaped scoopy thing out of my forearm. I still don't know what happened on that. And basically, oh, and this was me, I actually burnt myself on a pan. So you can see, this is what I actually scar like. Like, this is like a real fire scar. Look how light it is. Okay. So that's actually what it happens. Like, these guys, like this stuff that you can see. And this thing lights up. I don't know. This was my very first alien DNA. There you go. You can see like a weird huge pattern. But this thing lights up. This part of my arm lights up if I'm being exposed to like any type of other stuff. And like I have one behind my ear, and it's hard. So I was feeling, and behind this ear, right here, it feels soft, and there's like an indent. On this side where I have that mark, that diamond scoop, there's no soft indent. It's like a hard, I don't know. But yes, do I probably have implants and whatever freaking knows what else? Of course I do. I've been interacting with these guys. I've been doing experiments with these guys. I even received these, like, some form of other hybrid DNA, like, in my experience, and then wake up with like marks that never go away. I'm trying to get close so you can see. But yeah, that's the newest one, and this video is so freaking long, but it's only 40 minutes. See? Right there. I don't know, but it looks like a perfect freaking X, or like a diamond scoopy with like lines coming off of it. But yeah, right there. And I don't know if I have one on this side. On this side, it looks like I might have one here. And then I have a perfect triangle, which I've never noticed at any other point in my life until this year. I have a perfect triangle right there. And that is the weird white patchy thing. See it? And that is the Scoopy on my forearm. It's like right in here. Can you see it? There. See how it like indents? So yeah, I have these weird, and you can see when they get activated, or when I'm back up, or when I have like massive NHI contact, my old marks where my previous NHI contact marks light up. They like return back on. I do have a scratch on the back of my neck. You can see. I don't know if, remember the one that I did have? So this one's new here. And then I can try to show you behind my ear. And it's like hot right here. My kids are like... And I have pictures of all of this. But I can like feel it from the heat. Like I feel the heat and the pressure. But I don't know if you can see that very well. I'll try to tip my head up in the light. And get my hair all the way. But yeah, I have like right... It's like right in here somewhere. I think this is the right ear. I think so. Yeah, it's just this ear. But I literally have a mark behind my ear. I don't know if you can see that, but... So, and like I said, I don't sleep in jewelry. I have a big cushy bed. I like clean blankets. I'm not allergic. Like this is not like a weird allergic reaction. The rest of my body's fine. And this only happens in phases, and I usually have some sort of experience. Like I remember, oh, I was here. Oh, I did this. Like, yes, I let them do, it was like a, I don't know, like a clampy thing. And inside the clamp, it like injected, like little tiny like metal, whatever the crafts are made of, just micro doses of that, because once you're connected to it, and then I'll say why. So then I also have had this, so along with this Homoluminosity, so I've been shown that, I don't know if this is just for me or for everyone, so take what you will, leave the rest, okay? But we are moving into a time now that, especially the time that we're in, that we are not as solid. We're moving into like a fiery, airy era. So like coming out of one phase into another, and our intelligence level is at like we're rediscovering, and we have AI and all of this, right? What I was shown is that we're moving more outward. So we're moving more into like our astral, our etheric, our higher like bodies, and our higher like energy fields. Burping, sorry. And we're becoming more aware of like our our Taurus field around us, how it affects our brain, connecting with like unseen realities, other dimensions, multiple holograms, different timelines, whatever you want to talk about, okay? And for those of us that have like done the work and like have already really built up like our systems and everything, Homoluminous state is stabilizing, and then as it does, it also causes like your own gravity around you, like the bigger you, like outside this physical body. So we're working more with what we really are, consciousness, and on non-physical levels in our own energy fields. We're expanding that way. We're becoming less dense. And in that way, we're also sort of peeling back the layers, and there's going to be so much. This is sort of what I was like shown, this and quit being greedy. because the NHIs are getting really tired of people luring them in and and just taking when they were trying to be nice and work with us, and there was like mutual understanding there. It could be like a mutual contract agreement, and things are just getting a little bit out of hand, and it needs to be done in a proper way, but we'll go into that. But yeah, I literally have had glimpses of being on a craft, and I'm there representing the NHI, not the humans, because then I've literally had like glimpses of working for the humans, let's just say that, like working for other humans, like, and they literally, you know, they pushed me gently behind them and was like, you can't have her, she's ours. You know, yeah, I cannot be used to connect to them in nefarious ways, and I would never condone that. Like, it just makes me sad. Basically, like, the psionic assets of like luring these NHIs in, that needs to quit, because they're getting pretty irritated and they have countermeasures in place. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm gonna pull Forrest Gump. And yeah, that was basically the message that I got, but I'm still breaking that down and working through that, as far as I've had visions, but I've had like glimpses, experiences, whether I was seeing it, like remote viewing it, or I was actually there. That's a little fuzzy. Yeah, so this homoluminous is, we're going up and out in our energy fields, and we're expanding. So then I have this precognitive thing, and it sort of lines up with the 3 doorways. So then basically when I get a ping, this is how I manifest. I literally just get the ping, and then I have to let go, because then everything collapses and manifests and moves and creates and shifts how it should. And I always set the intention of the feeling of me, my husband, all my kids, because I never want to ping to a different space and time, you know, in my manifestation, that they're not there. Like that's always been a thing in my mind, like consciously, like if I'm creating a visualization, my whole family's there, we're happy, we're healthy, like I make sure everyone that I want to keep, because they just, like, I never want to manifest myself away from my family. Like, I never want to manifest my relationship not working or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it all has to be in line. Me, my family, my loved ones, they're my core. They keep me wanting to be present and be here, and not getting lost in all the other worlds that I journey through, and they're like my beacon. I come back to them. So there was 3 doors. One was let's just say opportunity, like an opportunity to, like, what is it? I want to say co-regulate. I don't know if that's the right word. No. Oh my gosh, my brain is just learning this neuroscientific terms. Now I literally talk like this, like I am co-regulating, I am dysregulating, cooperating. I don't know, working together. Like, then the first door was receiving gifts, and then the second door was using my gifts. So as far as I know, I have this interface thing that also involves me communicating, which a lot of my communication, like I said, is nonverbal. All these NHI are telepathic, nonverbal, it's natural. And then also reading body language, reading energy. I'm already absorbing 10 times what your mouth can say to me. Like, for me, for my brain, language is clunky and slow and not super helpful. And so learning how to communicate. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I feel like I'm supposed to start communicating more. I will always stay neutral. These are my experiences. I've had these my whole life. I am not saying that I am better. I'm not saying that I am above. I don't want responsibility over anybody. None of that crap. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that I feel like we're all individual, unique, and different, and this is how I'm different. This is how I'm individual and unique, and these are my experiences. This is a whole side of me that I don't even share with, like, my husband most of the time. He knows it's there, but we don't talk about it. And I don't have to talk about it because it's for me. Like, these are my experiences. And if I feel like sharing them, one, scientifically, I'm documenting everything that's happening. And two, this just feels right. Feels like the right time. All of this crap, NHI, multidimensional understanding, homoluminosity, coming online, shifting sort of up and out of physical body into all of your other bodies, your astral, your energetic, your etheric, all of them. Getting more connected with your aura and the energy field around you, closing your circuit. All of this stuff I feel is definitely up and coming. And it's only just going to keep getting more and more and more out there. More people are going to have experiences. I've had experiences since I was a kid, in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s. And then like I said, I came to a turning point, and I just started opening up and been like, okay, it's just time to accept all of I am. And the way for me to do that is to learn as much as I can about how my brain functions, how my nervous system functions, how I can have these experiences, and then come back the next day and be like, totally stable. And get to remember most of them. Most of them I get to remember. But yeah, that was basically my update. Strange new marks, like Scooby Diamond marks, homoluminosity, a little bit how that's gonna look, how this is just gonna keep getting more regular. Oh, my last thing, my premonition. So I'm moving in a couple of months, and I always can sense, like, even years ahead of when I'm gonna have to move, and I'm always right. And I do this with everything. I can sense intentions, I can sense, and I always turn out to be right. Not because I'm like, oh, I'm right. It's just because my precognition, my pattern recognition, all of it's already read it, and it's already come to an outcome that most of the time's accurate. Sorry, my kids came in. But yeah, all of this is just gonna be totally normal. So I keep seeing backyard, so I'm in the backyard, and then this new part of, like, the homoluminosity part is, at first I just seen this metal. It wasn't very shiny. It almost looked like hematite, like purplish, grayish, reddish. I don't know. It almost looked like that, but it was like that kind of dull. And then it has like this like oil slicky looking energy, like moving. I guess to me, in my vision that I seen, it was like alive, plasmatic. It was shifty, but then there was also this like green energy coming off of it. And I'm standing in my new backyard, which I've been told since the point that I'm gonna move, I'm gonna be moving to a place that is like more conducive to convergence energy, like the ground, the stones under the ground, all of it. It's going to be more of like I can energetically link in, more active energetically, more of a hot spot energetically, which makes sense because I've been drawn to the sand dunes in Colorado. I've always wanted to go there and razor through the sand dunes, and Utah, and I already am planning a trip with my husband to go to the Uinta Basin in summertime, and I gotta visit it. I have to visit those two places. If I'm going on a trip, that's where I want to go. I'm just drawn to hot spots. I don't know why. But anyway, so I was basically shown this, that this is going to be like a spiritual nexus point, that this is going to be like a high energy point. And then, so now I'm looking up and I'm walking, I'm in my backyard, so there's like two visions sort of unfold. And I look up and there's 5 different craft, 5 of them, all up there. And I'm just like, cool. Then, after I received Homoluminosity, and I literally have the language from AI about locking in and coherent states and phase locking and all this stuff. After I received that, the next time that I had this image, same backyard, finding a piece of metal, it's a UFO, it's like a piece of a craft, I'm touching it. Now that might have been like symbolic of me like receiving it, but this also could definitely happen, like, because I've also had Uru, so I had a guide Uru who showed up, who was like golden skinned and like geisha type big hair and sort of oriental looking and like goldenish eyes, Uru. And she said that, like, and she basically showed me, so telepathically communicating, is like the intention of, she brought me an egg, she brought me like a UAP looking thing, like a drone type thing, which I've also had other experiences with that I haven't shared. There's been a lot I haven't shared, but it's just been really quick little snippets, and then so I'm just like, I don't really have enough for a video, so oh, I thought, okay, I was like, what does that time say? 3 hours? No. No. Okay. And then like other pieces of like craft, like touching them, interacting with them, like bringing me gifts. I literally had this other message of like receiving gifts and opportunities of like collaboration, and also using, like, my gifts are mature enough now. I mean, I may look 25, but I'm not. That's all I gotta say. Wink wink. And yeah, so basically then it shifted after the homoluminous thing happened, and like the state was understood and stuff and like achieved. So I'm like stabilizing homoluminosity. I was in my backyard again, and I saw that I was literally being dropped off in the backyard, so I might start ending up at my new house, waking up outside. But the cool thing was, when I was coming back down, like in the stream or whatever, I was literally luminous, like my energy field was holding on to whatever energy I was immersed in, and I was like integrating it, and it was causing my skin to be luminous, and I was warm. It literally showed me the ground, and I was coming out from underneath the ships, wherever I was, with whoever it was, and I was like, it was raining, you could see steam, and like you could see, like, there was almost like a burn mark, like there was a burn sort of like crop circling mark from the ships, but then also where my feet were. So and I was warm, I was comfortable. It's like my internal bubble of luminosity and whatever it was like keeping me just totally at a perfect temperature. They dropped me off in the middle of winter, I melted snow. They dropped me off in the rain, freezing cold rain. I was warm. I just walked back inside. Like, So that was where this whole luminosity thing was, and that's like the whole homoluminous thing coming online. And yeah, like picking up and like having a piece of craft, which is going to amp up my my experiences with craft, and actually ending up outside in the backyard, which that's what I've seen for some reason. I'll have to break down the symbolism of this, but from all of my like looking forward, and I'll know my new house by the backyard. Like, it's a very specific high desert like backyard, but that's how I'll know it's the one. And then I've had multiple visions of going out back, and there's like an energy column and like linking up with it and being in like this hot spot energy, right? But this is the first one where like that homoluminosity, because literally it was like my skin was like glowing, like it was warm, it was like absorbing the heat, like no matter what type, it was showing me no matter what type of weather it was, I was consistently comfortable, stable, not freezing, not getting dropped off with like frostbite in the middle of winter, like none of that. Like the energy, whatever's happened in my field, like I can sustain it, I can hold it, and I can embody it into my energy field, and it has something to do with homoluminosity, and that's everything. That's everything that I've pretty much gone through and experienced, and since that weird time slip thing happened. But yeah, that's everything. That some things that like my new home and those visions, those have happened before the black UFO orby things. Might get some awesome plasmoids on camera tonight with the aurora. That tends to like really amp them up, or they can't really hide very well, or their cloaking stuff goes offline and you can see them. So yeah, and that's my update on all of that. And I think I'm going to be done showing pictures or parts on my body where these weird marks are. I'm just it's just normal, like, and as we move further, other people are going to start having these experiences. So that's what also I that's the other thing I was going to say, is that I'm not going to be the only one really having these experiences. There's going to be certain people, it's not my choice, it's all individual. I don't that's their agenda with you, whatever y'all work out. But certain people are going to be having these experiences. They're going to start having like the marks, and they're going to start being able to sort of understand what happened, like getting memories back. Memories are going to start coming back. And if you wake up in the middle of the night out in the yard, you probably won't remember it, but you'll be totally safe, and you'll walk back in the house and you'll go to bed. Or if you wake up in like a strange area, you know, just know that you're not going to experience anything that you're not ready for. Now, I cannot speak for all NHI. I know there are different beings. I know there are different agendas. I'm just saying, if you can come into Gamma or whatever practice you have and like close your circuit, then whatever experiences you're having will be safe, will be good. And you will most likely remember all of it. Like, I get to remember almost all of my experiences. I like half-ass passed out when they did this. I was like up there, I seen them bring the syringe in. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna suck too bad. And as soon as there was like this clampy, there was like this like feeling, and I'm pretty sure I passed out on the ship. And yeah, because it was painful, I guess. It's weird. It was like electricity. It was like a bolt, like they hit the nerves or something, or it like linked up to the nerves in there or something, and it was just like a shock that like went through your freaking chest. And then I did end up passing out, and I've passed out before, like with my dragon beans in the cave with the black stone thing, altar thing. Yeah. And lastly, I'll just say, even though I believe this is both physical, scientific, literal, it is also spiritual, conscious, but I've received this, looking at this from a dualistic, like good versus evil, angels versus demons, this like dualistic mindset. It is above that. We have to move out of that. So when I hear people putting this frame of understanding on it, it just like immediately is like a no. I'm not going to put this in any box. I'm just going to put this in. And if I was doing and having these experiences and they were terrible and I didn't like them, and I would take precautions not to have them, I would literally lock them out of my energy field. Like, your energy field's so intelligent. Like, we're just touching the surface of everything moving around you in your field and how bigger than your actual body you really are. You wouldn't be having, these experiences, or they would be very minimal, and you would be finding ways to block them out. And, the only reason I'm cool with it is because I enjoy it. It's just like another Tuesday for me. And I know I have this, have this connection I have since I was an itty bitty baby. So it just feels like I'm experiencing more of myself. But yeah, if you're having these experiences, you don't want to have them, you can for sure block them out, work on it, shut your field down. I recommend, if you can try to sustain any sort of gamma, like lower gamma. I went through the whole levels of lower gamma, and it was so healing. Like, I had these crazy images of like being swallowed and coming out of a serpent's mouth, and like this closure energy, and like this literally just closes out everything, aligns you perfectly, upgrades you, stabilizes you. Like, it's this whole thing. It's very, very, very deep meditation practice. And it's healing, but yeah, like at lower gammas, you can work through that stuff. And then also, it's always your choice. My consciousness, their consciousness, they're like family to me. Like, they're like, I don't see me and them as very different. Even though we could look totally different physically, energetically, I feel like we're very similar. And I feel like anytime I'm in a situation where I don't feel okay or anything, which I set like intentions, like every single time, like when I wanted to deep dive the craft, I set the intention to go deeper, within, so without and above and below, but safely, lovingly, setting those intentions for safety. Because there are things, that could come and just try to, just sometimes, they just want to fuck with you, and it's not fun, and just like, no, just like, no, be sovereign, know your power. And that's it. That's all I gotta share. Thank you guys. This is my update, my long update, but a lot's happened. A lot will continue to happen. And this is only going to become more mainstream, more known. Memories are going to be returned. It's about to go crazy. And then we're going to dive deep on how much technology and how much understanding of this non-physical stuff we really understand and have, and getting to the truth of that, and then helping us understand us better. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye.